Hello! So, let's get this out of the way. This is not a tier list of the most powerful weapons, but those that are the most fun to play with. This is my tier list, so it's gonna be very subjective. I played with almost every gun on the list. Also, upcoming rework my effects on weapons. Currently, there are 140 weapons in total. And holy hell, that's a lot of guns to go through. Alright, enough wasting time, and let's get to it already. So, first things first, the Hornet. Let's put it where it belongs. I think no one is gonna disagree with that, right? I mean, clearly the best gun in the game. And it takes only 2 energy. If it's not the matter, then I don't know what is. Second, I've made a special tier list just for this gun. The Enlightenment. Actually, what the hell they were thinking about making this thing? Actually useless. The only good thing you can do with it is to salvage it. And forget that it ever existed. Disgrace to humanity. Oh, this will definitely trigger some groups of people. But am I really wrong? If you play with these guns, know it. I hate you. And I mean it. They should not be this good for just one button gameplay. Also, you can always express your agreement or disagreement in the comments. But don't forget that I can still delete them. Alright, that is done. Now to the actual tier list. The Rapier. I mean, it's not the worst gun, but you should really save up for the Storms. Because Storms are actually really good. I bought them years ago and I still use them, and I still think that they are a lot of fun. And also don't forget about the Whirlwind. The problem with this gun is that it needs 5 energy points, but the perk is really strong. I would say they are both A tiers, just because one of them is cheaper and you can put 3 guns on your craft without any problems. And for new players, I think 15 energy for 3 Whirlwinds is actually a bit too much. But the Steel Wind is actually trash. It deals a lot of damage, yes, but its perk is literally useless. You won't tank with this gun, so why would you use the invisibility module? Also, it consumes a lot of energy, that's why it's not convenient to use. The Thorns. They are... okay? I would say they are C tier because they are not terrible, but you should really save up for the jewels. Because the jewel is actually a lot of fun. Incredible fire rate plus the fact that it is very difficult to overhit makes it a very interesting gun. It is not the most powerful weapon, but the emotions it gives make me want to put it in S tier. The Falcon. Alright, let's actually combine all of them. The Falcon, the Hawk, the Cobra, the Python, the Sidekick, the Anaconda, the Grenadier, they all have one thing in common. They have autism. They are simply too dumb to do anything to their enemies. Playing with them is just suffering, so I don't recommend them. The Fuse though, they are a lot of fun just to watch them try to find and kill the enemy with their tiny brains, and combining them with a new cabin Moonin? They can deal massive damage. That's why in my opinion they belong to A tier just because they are funny and silly. The Annihilators, they are very controversial. They don't deal crazy amount of damage, but they are very annoying. But if you attack people that play with cannons, they literally can't do anything. That's why, in my opinion, they are just B tier. The Barrier, I love you guys, you are very helpful. Plus, after the update, you actually get rewarded with a decent amount of points. So for team strategies, this thing is just perfect. S tier. Oh, I forgot about the Cyclone at the very beginning. 3 Cyclones deal insane amount of damage. And the sound, oh the sound. So this is one of the easiest S tiers. The Wasp, the Pyralit, I hope I pronounced it right, and the Locust. I think everyone knows that they deal a crazy amount of damage, but have no HP whatsoever. Also, the higher the rarity, the worse the aiming angles, so keep this in mind. The Cricket, I personally find it a bit more difficult to use compared to Locusts, but they still deal even more damage than the Locusts. But when you look at the DPS, they are pretty much equal. The Avalanche. After the nerf, this gun became obviously weaker, but anyway, if you drive up to the hovercraft from the behind, you will most likely one-shot it, and it just feels so good that you forget about the incredibly long cooldown. And just for the one-shots alone, I think this gun belongs to the S tier. The Avenger. After the update they became a nightmare for beginners and were even used at high power points. After the nerf they became weaker, but when playing with them the damage doesn't even matter. Fire rate is what makes this gun good. Sometimes it is so fast that you don't even have time to aim. Very fun thing. B tier. The Judge. There are still die-hard fans of this gun. I don't understand it. especially when the Avenger exists, that's why C tier. The Prosecutor. I don't understand them even more because they wait a lot, and Executioners exist, that's why C tier too. The Executioner, the legend, loved by everyone before, which got nerfed to death. But after the last update, they are actually usable, but they are not as good as they were before, that's why B tier. The Tsunami. Pretty much the same story as with the Executioner, but right now its perk actually usable on hovers, but I'm not the biggest fan of this gun. That's why B tier too. The Typhoon. Wait, let me do one thing real quick. That seems about right. Yeah, I never played with this gun. To be honest, I never cared about it that much, and relics just cost too much money. I actually played with Porcupines and Scorpions, but because I never cared about the Typhoons, I never tried them. That's it. The same with the Firebug, the Flash, the Punisher, the Reaper, the Mastodon, the Breaker, and the Jormungandr. Scorpions, I actually expected a lot more from them. I didn't really like them, maybe I just didn't understand them. Porcupines, however, I think everyone knows that they are a lot of fun. And it is a lot of fun. Do I even have to say that this is an S tier? I think you know this better than me. This thing is awesome. The nail guns. They actually deal a lot of damage, but you gotta calculate every movement of the opponent to implement this damage. Basically this is a shotgun that is inconvenient to use. They're not very fun. Also, fun fact, I believe the Argument has the same reload time as the Parsers, and they came out in the same battle pass. Both guns are C tier. The Assembler. I know that this gun is not really good in the current state, but I still like it. Maybe they are a bit too gimmicky, but I think they cannot go lower than B tier, so B tier. The Stress. I hope I pronounced that right. This gun is actually not bad, but its perk just ruins them. This is probably the worst perk in the game that actually destroys your gun without any help of the enemy. If not for this perk, I would put this higher, but I think it belongs to C tier. The Aurora. Pretty much useless on its own, but combining it with the machine guns and you get a lot of damage, so B tier. The Blockchain. I really like this gun. It deals a lot of damage and just blows off any weapons from the enemy's craft. Not really much to say about it, but I think it's really strong, so A tier. Oh, I forgot to add these weapons here. Now they are where they belong, in the disgrace to the humankind tier. Next up, the Clarinet. The perks should sound something like that. You become the easiest target whenever you use it. I really want to say thanks to all of the people who use it for giving me free kills. It's not even D tier, it's just the bottom tier. The only use for it is to beat children somewhere around 2000 power points. The Emily. It's a revolver grenade launcher? It's just bad. The damage is not good, also only 6 or 5, I don't even remember how many shots it has. And the reload is not really fast, it's just bad. C tier. The Impulse, one of the oldest weapons in the game, I believe. Again, in current state it's too weak. The damage is not good, the fire rate is bad, it's a very big gun, it doesn't have a lot of HP, it's just bad. I think it's maybe even worse than Emily. So D tier. The Thresher. Again, I think just grenade launchers are not that good in the game. It has a really good fire rate, especially for grenade launchers, but you gotta calculate everything, every little thing, just to hit the target. For the amount of skill it requires and how much damage it implements, it's just not worth it. So C tier. The Corvo. I actually love this thing. I bought it 3 years ago and I'm still using it. I understand that it's not the best gun in the game, but it just feels so good. It doesn't have the biggest damage and also it doesn't have a lot of HP, but shooting this thing just feels so good. And also it sounds really good. I understand that this gun belongs probably to B tier, but I love it. That's why I will put it in S tier. Next up, melee weapons. Alright, let's do this quick. This is the www tier. You just need to press one button to win. This is the only requirement. And I don't mean these weapons are bad, I actually like them. especially combining them with the harpoon, but these are such easy wins that's almost unfair. No skill required, only maybe a dozen of battles just to get used to them and you are ready to destroy everyone. That's why I will put every melee weapon in this tier. I could say the same things for shotguns, but I will actually rate them. Also, I just want to ask, am I the only one who doesn't see raptures? Like literally in 1 year I saw them once, and that's it. I think shotguns are gonna be forever busted, that's why I don't really respect them. But I must say, I really like parsers, one of my most favorite guns to use. The fact that you can take accurate shots make them 100% better. Oh, I forgot about the Fafnir. When we talk about metas, let's not forget that we also have rapid-fire machine guns in the game. Everything that I said about the shotguns can be applied to the rapid-fire machine guns too, especially when you use the Catalina cabin. And if we mention the Catalina cabin, let's not forget about other machine guns. I must say that I'm not the biggest fan of this kind of weapons, but I do enjoy some of them. Also, I forgot about some shotguns, so I put them on the list. Now I want to talk about the Airthrone. I believe it's a little bit broken right now, but even when it's not broken, it's pretty good. It still requires a bit of skill, but I do enjoy a challenge. That's why A tier. The Flute. Oh, I love this gun, especially that you can stack damage over the time. It means that you can shoot up into the air and after 2 seconds aim it on the enemy and it will deal even more damage. I did buy them a long time ago when they cost about 600 coins for one gun, but now when they cost about 400 coins I think it's really good. You should try it. S tier. The Hurricane. This weapon is very underperforming, not enough damage, easy to dodge, huge hitbox, generally not a very good gun. B tier. The Snowfall. Hard to use but deals a lot of damage. Personally, I prefer low cost. Also, to hit the target, it's necessary to calculate the lead perfectly. B tier. The Waltz. Exceptionally hard to use, but the damage is huge. Spinning projectiles is pain in the ass, that's why I personally didn't like it. A tier, just for the damage. The Tempest. Not worth your attention. D tier. Because in my opinion, you should save up for the Pearl. This gun is actually really interesting. Because it is an autocannon, but not for long range, but for the short range. Accuracy is bad, really bad, but the damage and the perk are really good. And I like rushing everyone, that's why this gun is nearly perfect for me. A tier. Yokai. Great against hovers and good against cars on wheels, but the perk is very counterintuitive. That's why it's just inconvenient to use this gun. I personally didn't like it. You should probably use something else. C tier. Young One. Bought it the day it came out and never graded ever since. Even after so many nerfs, this gun is awesome. However, you gotta calculate preemption in order to even hit hovers. Also, the fact that you only have one gun on your car means that the moment you lose it, you become useless. All in all, I really like this gun. S tier. Tackler. Does anyone remember this weapon at all? Haven't seen it in over a year. It is weak and inaccurate, that explains it. D tier. Vulture. Some people love it, some people hate it. I personally think if you're a skillful player you can make it work, but it's not really rewarding. C tier. The Yao Guai though, it is really good, especially against cannons. They deal massive damage, and especially if you hit someone that has low HP, he has zero chances to survive. I really like this gun, that's why I will put it in A tier. The Trigger, really good, like actually good. But I think you get even more reward using the Destructors, but it's still an A tier gun. And Destructors are basically even better triggers. They deal a lot more damage. It feels like they deal 100% more damage, just because they deal a lot of damage to the cabins, and sometimes you can even one-shot weak enemies. Also, it is just awesome to strip weapons. I personally use this gun a lot and it is probably my most favorite gun, just because the damage it deals is just massive. It is an easy S tier gun. Oh, I forgot about the owls. The funniest thing that they shoot themselves. Obviously D tier. The Racher, the infamous Racher, always works against anyone who doesn't strip them as soon as possible. Just the living legend of PvEs. It is obviously S tier. The Skinner? Is this even a gun? It is a ton of fun to use. I will put it in S tier. The Spark. usually combined with other guns, but using 3 of them on one craft actually makes you feel like you are this guy from the Star Wars. I will put it in B tier. The spike. Actually, I don't know why would you use this gun when you have the toadfish. The impulse is actually not that great, that's why you should probably save your money for the toadfishes. B tier. Toadfishes are very fun to use, especially against Goliaths, just because of the impulse alone. Also the damage is pretty good and the fire rate is actually okay. That's why I think it is a really good gun. For me it's between S and A tier, but I will say that it is probably A tier gun. Jeez, I ran out of space already. I gotta do something about it. Okay, this looks a bit better. The Baroon. It was stupidly OP 2 updates ago, but right now I don't even see anyone playing this gun. I do think that the fire rate is still good, but right now you better use something else. B tier. The Reaper. Another legendary gun that underperforms nearly all the time. I think it is still not the best thing to use, that's why I will put it maybe even in C tier. But I would say it's like very low B tier. Something between these two. The Juboko. Juboko. From the moment it was added to the game, I still don't understand this gun. I just don't understand the appeal of it. Some people say that it is good, but I don't see it. That's why I'll put it in C tier. The Miller. It was really good when it came out, and right now, even after the nerf, it is still a solid choice. I would say this gun still has a lot of damage, yet the HB is good too. I think it is way better than the other big machine gun. A tier. The Nest. When it came out, it was so OP that it actually made me abandon the game for like half a year, but right now it's not even worth mentioning. It is so bad that I think no one should use it. That's why in my opinion it's a D tier. The Cap Can. Again, is this even a gun? But it's still a good thing to use. It is still very expensive, extremely expensive, but I think you can do some funny things with it. A tier. The King. Actually really controversial. If you can't play with this gun, then it's just not for you. Also, the tankier builds with the Harpoon and the Kings are actually better than the ones that are just fast. I'll say it is a solid B tier. The Kaiju. I think this is a really strong long-range weapon that also can deal some serious damage on the short range. However, I don't see the appeal of this gun on the higher power points, because your damage is still the same. I would say this, the lower the power points of your car, the better this gun behaves. S tier. The Trombone. I mean, this gun is usually not the main gun on your craft, it's just help you to kill someone. That's why I will put it in B tier. The Phoenix. This gun is a meme itself. It is so big that even blind person can dust it off in seconds, and the delay is just unbearable. It is not really good. The damage is nice, but shooting it is pain in the ass, and the delay is the worst part about this gun. C tier, or maybe even D tier. The Adapter. A burst fire weapon with insane fire rate, but I don't see reasons why would you pay for it when you have other machine guns. B tier. The Fortune. Really strong, deals just huge amounts of damage, very strong against Leviathans, but these wheels just fly everywhere. Also you gotta bear in mind a lot of things when you aim with it. Overall this gun is really good, and I think everyone should try it. A tier. The Synthesis, the Prometheus and the Helios. C tier, B tier and A tier respectfully. I think a lot of people will not agree with me about the Helios, but this is my tier list, so I don't care. The Incinerator deals exceptional damage if someone stops in the puddle. Really satisfying but hard to use gun. A tier. The Mandrake. It is okay after the rework, but I mean, it's still not the greatest gun. However, it is a lot of fun to use, but I will put it in B tier. The Heather. This gun is even worse than Mandrake in my opinion, because actually hitting someone requires not only skill, but a lot of luck, because you don't know where the enemy is gonna go. He can just stop for no reason and you will miss. That's why it's C tier. The Median. I think this gun is very hard to use, because the lead sometimes is not enough to be a factor, but sometimes it's just enough to be annoying. Also, it has no explosive damage. Also, it is just a bit too slow. But I still think that this is a gun for a skillful player. I really enjoy this gun. S tier. Also, it tastes your aim all the time. The remedy, I didn't use it in a long time, I'll be honest, but I remember it was pretty good. It was just not my cup of tea, B tier, but I can see the appeal. The Draco, I used it 3 times, I'll be honest, and I didn't like it. That's why I never used it again. For me it's C tier. The Quasar, for me it is a hit or miss. I bought it a long time ago and still play with it sometimes. In some games you destroy everyone you see, and in other games everyone destroys you, because the hitbox of this thing is huge. But I still like it, B tier. The Pulsar on the other hand, I remember everyone played with it in Clan Wars, but then it got nerfed and no one cares about it right now. And to be honest, it is not really good, C tier. And not really good because it has such a huge hitbox that I believe is even bigger than the Quasar one. The Little Boy, the Hulk, the Fat Man and the Mammoth. For me, the Little Boy seems a lot more rewarding than the Hulk and the Fat Man, just because it has a lower power score. Also, it is smaller and the damage is still very good. Fat Man, I don't understand this gun at all, because it is big, it is huge. Not as big as the Mammoth, but Mammoth at least has the damage, and the perk of the Mammoth is just one of the best perks in the game. But the Fat Man is still slower than the Hulk and than the Little Boy, even with its perk. That's why I don't understand why would you use the Fat Man. The Mammoth though is so big that it tanks half of the time, and I like really fast cars, and I still play a really fast car with this gun. However, if anyone shoots the cabin, I'm dead in seconds. But I still think that Little Boy is B tier, the Hulk is C tier, the Fat Man is C tier too, and the Mammoth is A tier. But I don't understand why would you use the Elephant. Because in my opinion, even the Mammoth is pretty accurate, and why would you have even more accuracy in exchange for the damage? That's why this gun is not good in my opinion. C tier. The Athena. This gun is yet to be seen whether it's good or not, but in my opinion this gun has a lot of damage, but this mechanic of 4 shots and then reloading ruins it for me. Yes, I still think that the Corvo is my most favorite gun, but at least the Corvo has fire rate, and this thing is really slow. However, as I've already said, the damage of this thing is insane, especially combining it with the photon cabin. That's why I still think it is not as bad as the other ones. I think it belongs to A tier. And the last weapon is Tempura, or Tempura. The only good thing about this gun is one-shots, and this is the only thing you need. These one-shots are so satisfying that you forget all the bad and inconvenient things about this gun. Also, I have a short YouTube video about this gun. It is a meme montage, go check it out. As you could already guess, this is an S tier for me. And that's it. I went through 140 weapons of this game. And holy hell, I'm not doing this again. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and leave your likes. Bye!